Okay, for today, function notation, making sure you understand what that is. And then we're going to evaluate different functions. So here's y equals 2x plus 3. How is that any different than y? Oh, wait. F of x equals 2x plus 3. I think that when they made this up, they just thought, well, if I want to stick a number in for x, like let's say I want to stick in 5 for x, they wanted a way for you to be able to say, hey, I'm sticking 5 into the function. F of 5 is going into the function. And then you put a 5 here. So that's what's handy about this f of thing, is it'll tell you what you're putting in. It's called you're evaluating the function. Okay? Can't really do that with this. Do you get how you can't just say, I guess you could go like y sub 5 or something, and maybe in a different world, people might not use f of x. They might just say y, and then sub whatever. Another thing that's good about using f of is that then you can make different functions and say g of x is this, and r of x is this. And you can make all these different functions and automatically give them names. Instead of just saying y equals this and y equals that, it recognizes that they are different, and so you can pick different letters. That's another advantage of function notation. Okay? So if you want to stick a number in, you put it here. Now, a lot of people are like, does that mean f times 5? No. That's just saying we're taking the function and we're sticking a 5 in it. All right? Okay, so there's some stuff about function notation. Now, if I give you a function like 2x plus 5, I'd like you to actually put 5 in it. And tell me what you get. I'm making an XY chart here, and these are points. This is something that you really need to know how to do. If I give you an equation or a function, you're supposed to be able to tell me a whole bunch of points that are on it. So like if I stick in that x is 5, then do you get 15? Cool. Did you realize that what you just did there is create a point that would be on this graph? 5 comma 15, over 5 and up 15, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You've got this dot here at 5 comma 15, and it's on your graph of your function. And this is x and this is y, but I bet you never thought of it this way. This is x and this is f of x. Isn't f of x the same thing as y? Right? So x comma f of x is just like saying x comma y. Okay, that's the next little step, is to start thinking of every point you see. If I give you 5 comma 10, you got to be able to say, well, that's the x, and that's the f of x. X was 5, and f of x, I know, it's the same thing as y, but you could think of it as x comma f of x. Okay, next thing. If I gave you a whole bunch of points on an XY chart, 2, 5, 3, 6, 4, 7, 5, 8. Do you remember how yesterday I was able to show you how to figure out if it's a function? This one doesn't have any repeating inputs. But as soon as I repeat one, do you remember this deal? If I put in 3 again, it better give me 6. What if it doesn't? What if it's 3 comma 12? Well, then it's not consistent and it's not a function. Okay. So if you ever repeat an input, it better give you the same output. Okay. So then if you had your inputs over here, inputs, and your outputs over here, do you remember that deal where if it's like everyone gets a separate, each input gets a separate output, then that's a function, right? But as soon as I do this, one of the inputs gives me 2 outputs, both this one and this one, not a function then. Okay, back to this. Here's a bunch of points. We determined it is a function because I erased that last point that was offending, so that's a function. Can you tell me what f of 3 is? Don't overthink this. It's It's on the chart. Yeah, it's 6. Does that make sense to you? Okay, focus on, you gotta look up here. Are your eyes okay today? All right, good.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Okay,
There's something in my eye.
oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, how about f of 5? What do you think f of 5 is? 8. How about f of 2? 5. You just get them right off of here. Okay, I don't feel like that's very hard, is it? Isn't that pretty easy? Okay, then here's another way to do it. F of x, g of x, and p of x. And then over here, I can say that this is x. Do you remember just a second ago we had x comma f of x? That was the same exact thing we had a minute ago. So if I said 2, 3, 4, 5, and this was, I don't make up new numbers, 10, 11, 12, and 13. But this one takes the x's and doubles it. 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 2 is 6, 4 times 2 is 8, and 5 times 2 is 10. I hope you see what I did there. Okay, and then last but not least, I'm going to triple them all when I do this one. 2 times 3 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 3 is 12, and 5 times 3 is 15. Okay. See how I got that chart? Now, here's my question. What's f of 2? Say it if you think you know it. Come on, be bold. 10 is correct. See where she got that? It's like, here's my 2, and what do I want to do to it? Do I want to have f of it, or g of it, or p of it? Okay? So what's p of 2? Yep. Getting how to read this? What's f of 4? F of 4 was right here. F of 4 was 12. Good. How about p of 5? Here's the p. Here's the 5. P of 5 is 15. All right. Now this last thing about this, about the chart ones, is what if they say 2f of 4? Well, now that's just too complicated. I can't do it. Now, it's the same thing as this. What was f of 4 last time? What was f of 4 last time? Just did it a second ago. It was 12. What do you think the 2 in front means? Times it by 2. So, what do you think the answer is? Well, if f of 4 is 12, what do you think the answer is? 24, good. All right, if you're still getting this, I'm going to leave it up on the screen. What's 3 times g of 4? Hint, start with g of 4. Gianna, what's g of 4? Nope. G of 4. Yep. G of 4 is 8. Now that I know this is 8, do you see where we got the 8? This part right here is 8. I'm going to cross it off and I want to put an 8 there. Do you think that means 38? No. So, Ian, what do you think the final answer is? Okay, I'll come back to you. Would you slide that down? Yeah, it'll just help you to not be distracted by what's outside. I get it's nice out there. All right, let's go to Avia. We just figured out that g of 4 was 8. What do you think I should do with the 3?
Just every day.
So, what is 3 times 8? 24. Who had 24 in their head and they were just waiting? Okay, good. All right, let's do one more like that. Remember, you always just start with like P of 3, but then we're going to go 5 times that. EJ, what's P of 3?
9.
Yep. So if I replace this with a 9 now, what should I do with the 5 and the 9? Final answer?
40.
45. 45. 9 times 5, 45. Okay. He's getting that? I feel like you are. It's just like finding things on a chart, and then you have to like multiply it by something if they put something in front like that. All right. Then what if it's in a graph? Okay, so imagine we have a graph like this, and I'll give you a few points. Everybody make this graph. Copy what do you see on the board. Yes, question first?
So it's the last one out, and we got 45.
Oh, we got the 45. Okay. First we did P of 3. Would you look on the chart and figure out P of 3? You can look on the board. I have it up there now.
Well, 9.
Yes. Then the 5 is in front of that, so it means 5 times the 9. That's how we got the 45. Okay, so first you figure out the P of 3, then you take and multiply it by 5. 5 times 9, 45. All right, out of this picture. I asked you to copy this picture, and I'm going to give you a few key points on it. That there is negative 4, negative 1. This one here is going to be 3, comma 9. And this one here is going to be 10, comma negative 1. All right. What if I say, what's f of negative 4? Yeah. Do you get how this is the x spot? And what we want is the y spot. See, they gave you the x spot as negative 4, and negative 1 was what came out. So you're right. So negative 4, f of negative 4 is negative 1. All right, how about if I was at 3 here? What's f of 3? Don't overthink this. Just say it if you know it. 9. And what question do you think I'm going to ask about this one? F of 10 would be negative 1. Good. Okay. Now can we go backwards? What if I said the answer is negative 1? Then it's like what the question was. Okay, so how would I do that? I would not say f of negative 1, because that wouldn't make any sense. I want you to think about that. That would mean x was negative 1. Is x actually negative 1 here? No. But how would I say y is negative 1? You wouldn't say y, because we're in function notation. Normally you would say y is negative 1, so tell me what x is. But what do we replace y with? F of x. F of x equals negative 1. Do you get that that's a question? And it's saying if f of x is negative 1, what is x? That's what they're asking. And what is x then? Yep. I'll give you another one that's like that. If I say f of something I don't know, you put a variable, right? F of x, it's like telling you the y is negative 1. Wait a minute, there's another answer for it? Yeah, we just did that one 2 seconds ago. Don't say 10. What's the other answer for it? Negative 4, see? X is negative 4. It's 2 things. How can it be 2 things? Because we were doing x is negative, no, sorry, y is negative 1, and that's a line that runs like this, and it hits twice, once here and once there. There were 2 answers to that. X is negative 4, and x was 10. The last easy one would be using this point. F of 3 is 9. Yeah, I could have said, like f of, some other number like f of 7. But I'm going to stick to, I want to say f of something is 9. What do I put here? X. F of x is 9. And then you're supposed to tell me x. X would have to be
3.
3. Okay, so when they give you a graph like this, they're either going to tell you X or they're going to tell you Y, and then you just have to tell them the other one. All right, so I'm going to give you one last one like that, and I'm going to make this have 4 important points, okay? This one's going to be 1 comma 7. This one's going to be 5 comma 1. This one's going to be 8 comma 9. And this last one's going to be 10 comma negative 3. There's some points on a graph. Jack, give me a question to ask them.
Like f of something.
Okay, do it.
F of 5.
Everybody answer. What's f of 5? 1. Okay. Quinn, give us a question, and then we'll give the answer. F of 1. Everybody think about it for a second. What's the answer? 7. Because of this point right here. And you basically said X is 1, and we basically said Y is 7. Okay. How about a different way to ask one of these? Anyone? Don't be scared. Instead of just saying like f of a number, say it different. Come on, Nolan. You know what I'm talking about. Just say it.
F of x is
Oh, there we go. F of x is -3. That's a question. And what's the answer to it? X equals 10. Yep. So if they want to say the y, they're going to say f of x, because f of x means y. All right, cool. I think you just learned everything. So we're going to flip through the slides quick, and in about the next 5 minutes, then we'll be at lunch. So this is just saying f of x is like y. You know that y equals x squared is a thing. It's a parabola. It kind of looks like that. They're saying if you had area on the y-axis, you could have side length on the x-axis. As the length of one of your sides goes up, like say if I make this a little longer than it was, then the area goes up accordingly. So if I extend my sides out, I got more area. That's a function. Okay. Here's a function where they don't... You could look at the graph for the answers, or you could look at the equation for the answers. Personally, I think it's easier to get them from the equation. Do you get if they want f of 2, I just put a 2 there and then also a 2 here? I could do it off the chart, but I think it's easier if they give you the equation to just use the equation. And what is -3 times 2? -6. Then you add 8. What's -6 plus 8? I think it's 2. Did anybody else have 2 there for that answer? Okay, good. F of -3. Okay, well, I guess I better figure that out first. And it's got this weird +7. Whenever it's got more than one thing like this, just one thing at a time. Math is done one step at a time. That's why at the beginning of the year, I talked about if you had a gigantic problem like walking to Patagonia, you could do it. Just have to start walking, and you can walk there one step at a time. I do think you'd have a problem at the canal that goes across. What's that canal called again? Panama Canal. Yeah, I think you might have a problem there, but there might be a bridge over it. Okay, otherwise, and you might have some troubles in the jungle, in the Amazon, but you could walk to Patagonia. So you one step at a time it. So let's find f of -3. So I go up here. Which do I pick? I personally would rather do -3 going right there. So I put it in there. Could I have said x is -3 on this graph? Well, actually, I'd have to go over here, and it's not even on the graph. That's where -3 is, where x is -3, and I'd have to go up to an imaginary spot, you know, where this red line extends out, and it's going to be a pain, so I'm not doing that. What is, +9 plus 8, 9 plus 8, who had 17 before I ever said it? Okay, that's it. Because negative 3 times the negative 3, and then you add 8. So that's 9 plus 8. 9 plus 8 is 17. But wait, there's more. We just figured out that this was 17. So one step at a time. We got that. Am I done? No, I have to take another step. Thankfully, there's only 2 steps. Jack, final answer? Final answer? It's all right. So we just figured this out. We got it from this, and we got 17. So am I done? No, I got to take the 17 and just add 7. So then I get 24. Who had 24 before I said it? Okay, good. All right. How about f of 0 divided by negative 2? I can get that one off the chart pretty easy. Off the graph, I mean. F of 0 is where x is 0, and so I just follow that up to right here, and the answer is 8. Could I have done it with this? Yeah, I'd stick a 0 here if I wanted to, and I would have got 8. Either way, it's 8. Am I done? I'm done with the first part. Then what's the final answer? Negative 4. So just do the part that's easy, get it done, stick in a number, then it'll be easy again. Very soon, not quite until lunch yet, but very soon. Okay, this is the part where I'd like you to find the Schoology quiz, open the Schoology quiz, because I think you're ready to take the Schoology quiz. And the first question on the Schoology quiz is just about, is this a function or not? Remember that thing with the inputs? If you have one input that has 2 different outputs, then it's not a function. Also, there's the vertical line test. All right, again, we're not going to lunch quite yet, soon. That is the end of the video for today. And just do the Schoology quiz for homework. Save.